Hello everyone, my name is Isaac and I will be leading today's Hatha Yoga. We can go ahead and get started. Sitting in an easy seat, inhaling, reaching up towards the sky. On your next exhale, drop your left palm to the mat as your right hand reaches overhead for a seated side bend. Really exaggerating that reach with that right palm. Inhaling back up, reaching up. As you exhale, drop that right palm to the mat as our left palm reaches overhead. Inhaling back up, reaching up. As you exhale and round out our spine, palms to elbows, chin to chest. On your next inhale, rise back up as our arms come to 90 degrees for cactus pose. Reaching our elbows back, shining our chest forward. As you exhale and round out the spine once again, palms come to opposite elbows, chin to chest. Inhaling back up into cactus pose. Arms at 90 degrees, reaching back with our elbows, shining that chest forward. Shoulder blades retracted. As you exhale once more, palm in the mat in front of you and swing your feet behind you. Come into a neutral tabletop position, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. As we inhale and arch our back and shine our chest forward for cow. On your next exhale, push into the ground with your palms and round out your spine for cat, chin to chest. Inhaling back up into cow. Linking your breath with your movement. Inhaling for cow. Shining that chest forward, pulling the mat back with our hands. As we exhale and round out the spine, push through our hands back into cat. Take a couple cycles here at your own pace, remembering to inhale into cow and exhale into cat. Finding stillness, widen out your knees. As you exhale and sink back into child's pose, reaching your arms overhead. Perhaps your forehead comes to the mat. Imagining there's a string pulling your head to the front of the room, and a string pulling your hips to the back as you melt and elongate. On your next inhale, stack that left palm on top of right as you feel an increased stretch on the left side of your body. Inhaling back to center, perhaps reaching a little bit forward, a little bit further forward, inching our fingers forward, sinking our hips back. As you exhale, stack that right palm on top of left, other side. Noticing the increased stretching sensation on your right side body. Inhaling back to center, reaching forward one last time, inching those fingers forward. As you exhale and come up, back into a neutral tabletop, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. As you firmly plant your left palm into the mat and inhale, send that right palm up to the right as you open up your chest to the right. On your next exhale, send that right arm underneath your left for thread the needle, widening at the knees if needed. Option to bring that left palm and inch it towards the right above your head, or come into a bind, bringing that left arm around your lower back, grabbing your right hip. Removing the bind with your left arm if you did choose that variation. As you push back up into a neutral tabletop, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, firmly planting that right palm on the mat. As you inhale, send that left palm up to the sky as you open up your chest to the left. As you exhale, thread the needle, send that left arm underneath your right, widening at the knees if needed. Same options here to bring that right palm to the left, above your head, or come into a bind, bringing that right palm across your lower back, grabbing your left hip. Removing that right arm from the bind if you did choose that variation. As you push back up into a neutral tabletop, hands come one paw print in front of you as you tuck your toes and exhale up into our first down dog of the day. Perhaps walking the dog out, bending one knee and then the other. Stretching out our calves and our hamstrings here. Finding stillness in your down dog. As you step or hop to the front of your mat into a forward fold, reaching towards your toes or your shins, wherever your flexibility allows. As you inhale up for halfway lift, fingers glide up shins, flat back, crown of the head pointed forward. And exhaling back down into forward fold. As you inhale up, rise slowly, vertebra by vertebra, into mountain pose. Feet shoulder width apart. As we inhale into high mountain, reaching our palms up. Left palm grabs the right wrist as we exhale to the left. Inhaling back up to center. Right palm grabs left wrist as we exhale to the right. Inhaling back up as our palms come together and we exhale for a slight back bend. Inhaling back into center as we swan dive forward, palming at the mat, stepping our feet back into our first high plank of the day. As we exhale, chaturanga, elbows by ribs, descending as slowly or as fast as you'd like. Inhaling up for cobra, slight bend in those elbows, shining that chest forward, retracting our shoulder blades. As we exhale down and push up into a down dog. Inhaling for three-legged dog, raising that right heel up. As you exhale, send that right foot in between our palms as we inhale up into our first high lunge. Back heel off the mat as our hips are square to the front of the room, framing our head with our arms. Returning to your breath. Back foot pivots 45 degrees to come into warrior one, making sure our hips are square to the front of the room still. On your next exhale, open up into a warrior two. Back foot parallel to the back of the mat, front foot pointed forward. As our arms reach out to the sides of us and we gaze past our right fingertips. 60% of the weight should be on your front foot and 40% on the back. Challenging ourselves to keep our arms in a line. On your next inhale, front palm comes up. As we exhale to reverse warrior, sending that left palm to our left shin, or above our left knee, but never directly on your knee. Exhaling deeper with every breath out. Inhaling back up into warrior two. As we exhale and drop that right forearm to our right knee, left hand reaches overhead for extended side angle. Once again, really exaggerating that reach with that left palm. Option to grab that block if it's near you and place it to the left of your right foot to assist you in triangle pose if needed. As you place your right palm on the block and inhale, send that left palm up for triangle pose, opening up our chest to the left. Once again, trying to align our arms here, or removing the block if you feel comfortable here. Pressing the back of your palm against your right ankle, holding for 2 breaths. As you exhale, send that left palm to the mat, removing the block if you did choose it, and sending that right foot on back, coming back into a high plank. As you exhale and descend into chaturanga, elbows by ribs, once again descending as slowly or as fast as you'd like. Inhaling up for cobra. As you exhale back down and push up into a down dog. Three-legged dog, left heel rises up, reaching it towards the sky. As we exhale, send that left foot in between our palms. Inhaling up for a high lunge, back heel off the mat, hips square to the front of the room. Returning to your breath. On your next exhale, back for pivots 45 degrees to come into warrior one. Hips remain square to the front of the room. On your next exhale, open up into a warrior two, back foot parallel to the back of the mat, front foot pointed forward. As our arms come out to the sides of us, gazing past our left fingertips, raising at the core for stability. Once again, challenging ourselves to keep our arms in a line. On your next inhale, front palm reaches up. As you exhale into a reverse warrior, right palm comes to our right shin or above our right knee, but never directly on it for safety. Exhaling deeper with every breath out. Inhaling back up into warrior two. On your next exhale, send that left forearm to the left knee for extended side angle as our right palm reaches overhead. Once again, exaggerating that reach. Once again, option to utilize that block to assist us in triangle pose as you plant that block to the right of your left foot. And stack your left palm on it, inhaling, reaching that right palm up, opening up our chest to the right, reaching up, holding for 2 breaths here, opening up our chest to the right. As you exhale, send that right palm to the mat, removing the block if you did choose it, stepping our foot back, coming back into a high plank. As you exhale down, chaturanga, elbows by ribs. Inhaling up for cobra. Slide bending those elbows, shining that chest forward. As you exhale back into a down dog. Inhaling up for three-legged dog, right side. Option to drop that right ankle to the left glute. And three-legged dog for a deeper hip opener. Lengthening out that right leg in three-legged dog. As you exhale, send that right knee to our nose, holding for 1 second. Inhaling back up into three-legged dog. As you exhale, send that right knee to our left elbow, holding for 1 second. Inhaling back up. And exhaling, sending that right knee to our right elbow, holding for 1 second. As that foot steps to the outside of our right palm, coming into lizard pose. Option to utilize a block to help you adjust here. Square hips forward. On your next exhale, option to drop your elbows to the block, or removing the block if your flexibility allows. Perhaps pushing on your right knee here. Shifting side to side. Option to fully extend that left arm and reach back with your right palm, pulling on your left ankle for a deeper quad stretch. Providing variations here to adjust your practice and level. Unbinding yourself from the variation as your elbows drop back to the block or the mat for a brief moment. As you inhale back up into lizard pose and heel till that right foot over to the left. Right knee comes behind your right wrist to come into a pigeon pose. Inhaling up, shining that chest forward. As you exhale and descend. Option to stack your palms on top of one another and flare your elbows out. Or fully reach your arms out in front of you, however you choose to melt into pigeon pose today. Inhaling back up into pigeon pose, shining that chest forward as you pop that left knee up off the ground, sending that right foot behind you, coming back into a high plank as you exhale and descend elbows by ribs. Inhaling up for cobra, slide bend in those elbows, shining that chest forward, and exhaling back down, pushing up into a down dog once again. Inhaling three-legged dog, left heel up, reaching it up towards the sky. As you exhale, an option to drop that left ankle to the right glute for a deeper hip opener. Lengthening out that left leg. And three-legged dog as you exhale, send that left knee to our nose. Holding for 1 second. Inhaling back up into three-legged dog. And exhaling, sending that left knee to our right elbow. Holding for 1 second. Inhaling back up into three-legged dog. Exhaling one more time, sending that left knee to our left elbow. Holding for 1 second as we step our left foot to the outside of our left palm. Coming back into lizard pose. Option to utilize that block to help you adjust. Square your hips forward and catch your breath. On your next exhale, option to drop your elbows to the block or the mat, however your flexibility allows you to. Reminding yourselves to not compare yourself to other students in the class, and being thankful for making time on your mat, and focusing on your mental and physical well-being. Once again, option to push on your left knee out for a deeper stretch. To straighten out your right arm as you reach back with your left palm, pulling on your right ankle for a deeper quad stretch. Noticing a change in intensity as you pull your right ankle closer to your right glute. unbinding from the variation as our elbows drop back down to the block or the mat for a brief moment. Inhaling back up into lizard pose, shining that chest forward as we heel toe that left foot over to the right. Left knee comes behind our left wrist, coming into pigeon pose, shining our chest forward as we exhale and descend. Option to stack your palms on top of one another and drop your forehead on your palms, or fully lengthen out your arms, however you choose to melt into pigeon pose, making this practice your own. Returning to your breath. Inhaling back up into pigeon pose, shining that chest forward as our right knee pops off the ground, setting our left foot behind us, coming back into our final high plank of the day. Exhaling down, chaturanga, elbows by ribs. Inhaling up for cobra. As you exhale on down into down dog. Final down dog of the day. Once again, option to walk your dog out, bending at one knee and then the other. Sending our back heels to the floor, if your flexibility allows. Finding stillness in your down dog as you bend at the knees. Sitting on our ankles here. And we begin to roll at our neck, massaging our neck. Perhaps we're used to being seated and hunched over all day. I know I'm guilty of doing this. Opposite way. Finding stillness as our arms come back into cactus pose, reaching back with our elbows, shining that chest forward. As you exhale back down around at our spine, hands, tops, elbows, chin to chest. Palms come out in front of us, other feet swing to the front. Grabbing that strap if it's near you as you wrap it around your right foot and sink your back on the mat. Left leg remains on the ground. Pulling the strap closer to your face as your right foot is in the strap. On your next exhale, sending that right foot over to the right as you gaze towards your left palm. On your next exhale, send that right foot over across your body to the left. Left palm grabbing the strap as you gaze towards your right palm this time. Inhaling back to center. As you switch feet midair, setting that left foot in between the strap. Right leg comes to the ground as you pull on the strap once again. Pulling it towards your face. Stretching out our hamstrings here. As you exhale, send that left foot to the left, gazing towards your right palm. Exhaling, sending that left foot across your body. Right palm grabs the strap as you gaze towards your left palm. Inhaling back up to center as our foot descends to the ground, removing the strap. as we enter our final resting pose, Savasana, lying on our backs. Option to place one hand on your stomach and one on your chest, closing your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. As we end class, I'd like to offer the intention of gratitude for cultivating gratefulness for everything we have in our life. It can be simple joys such as drinking a cold glass of water after a workout, or perhaps feeling the warmth of the sun as you go about your day. Anything that brings you joy in your life, appreciating it, allowing gratefulness to fill your body, counting your blessings, noticing the expansion of your stomach as you inhale, and the contraction as you exhale. Knowing that at any point in the day, you can return to your breath, calming yourself and grounding yourself. Begin to return to the third dimension, returning to your mat as you curl at your wrists and your ankles. Opposite way. Slowly open up your eyes as your knees come to chest, rocking on our spine. As you exhale, come up into an easy seat. As our palms come together, thumbs comes to third eye, and we exhale and bow. Namaste. Thank you everyone so much for allowing me to be your yoga instructor today. My name is Isaac. If you have any questions or suggestions, I would love to hear it. With that being said, have an amazing day, everyone. Goodbye.